What's happening, guys? This is Mike's Soul Dragon channel. Today we are going to take a look at the DC solicitations of books that are coming out in January. Right here on the cover, we've got a preview for DC KO number 3. I feel like a lot of the surprises about who is going to advance in the tournament have been kind of the cat's out of the bag to an extent, because I've seen so many of the what's the word I'm looking for here? You know, so many of the advertisements and the social media from DC and Scott Snyder and Josh Williamson have really let on, you know, and also the previews that have come out from DC have really let on who advances into the tournament. So a lot of that, I mean, they were talking about issue 3 the week after issue 2 was already out, you know, so it kind of just leaves all that suspense just gone to the wind. And another bone of contention I have with this whole tournament is Scott Snyder just said, I think it was yesterday, that the third round of the DCKO tournament is going to be a tag team match. So how are you going to have a bracket style? That was the big thing that it was advertised as. They showed the bracket and they showed all the potential matchups. But then in round 3, you're going to have tag team matches. That kind of throws the whole bracket out the window. But, you know, it's quite possible that I'm overanalyzing it and making a big to-do out of nothing. But we'll go ahead and get this thing open and get it started. I'll talk about what I'm going to be picking up. DCKO 3, I'll be picking this up. Hopefully I'll be able to get the Will Ospreay Firestorm cover right here, since I'm a big AEW fan. These tie-ins here, I'm probably going to be skipping, you know, DC Night Fight, DC The Kids Are All Fight. These are all tie-ins that haven't really grabbed my attention. I don't have any interest in picking them up, you know. As I said before, I just try to stick to the main titles. Superman 34. I might pick this up because I am kind of half reading this mainline Superman book. Justice League Unlimited, I'll be skipping this. Flash, I did pick up the first issue of Mark Waid and Christopher Cantwell. That run just started recently, and I'm not going to be picking up the second part of it. I don't know what happened, but you know, you would think I like Mark Waid's work and I like Christopher Cantwell's work, but that issue of Flash they teamed up on together was not the thing. I did not enjoy it at all. So I will be passing on this. I'll be passing on Titans, DC, Green Lantern, KO, pass. Absolute Batman Annual. This is an ad right here. Of course, everyone's seen everything that's going on with this book, and I do intend to take time out to talk about it because I've got a lot to say, but I just have to fit it into the schedule, so to speak. Absolute Batman, I'll be passing on it. I dropped that book. Absolute Wonder Woman, I'll be reading. I've been reading since the start. Absolute Superman, I'll be reading. Flash, pass. Green Lantern, pass. Martian Manhunter, pass. Then we've got the Matt Fraction and Jorge Menez Batman. I'll be picking this book up. This is my favorite Batman book right now. You can have Absolute Batman, and you can have the Jeff Loeb Jim Lee Batman. I'm mainlining this right here. Nightwing, pass. Batgirl, Batman and Robin, I'll be passing on those. Detective Comics, Catwoman, Harley Quinn, I'll be passing on those. Poison Ivy, I kind of dip in and out of. I'll pick up a handful of issues, get caught up. Then I'll take a 3 or 4 month break and then come back and pick up another handful. But G. Willow Wilson, she has really carved out a whole legacy for Poison Ivy right here, and that's outrageous that it's on issue 40. It's really wild that a Poison Ivy book has lasted 40 issues. Just goes to show you the strength of G. Willow Wilson's writing and how her take on this character has, gotten people to stick around that long. Harley and Ivy, one shot, pass. Superman Unlimited, Supergirl, I'll be picking up both of these. As I've said before, I enjoy both of these books. They're very self-contained. You can pick these up and not need to know a whole bunch about what else is going on in the DC Universe. They're just solid, for the most part, one-and-done stories. Action Comics with Mark Waid, I'll probably be picking this up. World's Finest, pass. Wonder Woman, yes. Black and Gold Special, no. I'm kind of burnt out on these type of black, white, and gold, black, red, and blood, whatever, all this style of book that DC and Marvel seem to be putting out. Adventures of Superman, Book of Ale, I'll be picking this up, but I'm waiting till it's over to read. JSA number 15, this is the year 1 book, so there's a chance that I'll probably be getting this. I have to go, and I think issue 1 or the first part of year 1 is already out, so I gotta make it a point to pick that up. Green Lantern, pass. Green Lantern Corps, pass. Aquaman, pass. Justice League Red, pass. Cheetah and Cheshire, this is a 6-issue miniseries right here. And I think I've got the first 2, so I will probably be picking this up, and I'll be able to read it once it's over with. Same with Justice League and Godzilla and Kong. Issue 7 is the last one, and I'm picking it up. The first one didn't really blow me away, but I kind of thought I would give the second one another shot. Supergirl Next Door, passed. Green Arrow, question. Batman, pass. Immortal Legend, Batman 6. I'm reading this, so I'll be picking this up. And once it gets finished, I'll be binging it. Kyle Higgins, he writes a lot of the Radiant Black book, which is an Image title, and it's really fun. It's kind of its own contained universe. So he is dipping his toes right here into Batman. I think he's worked on Nightwing previously as well. The Batman, pass. Pass, pass. Pass on all of this right here. Now we're here in the facsimiles. Killing Joke facsimile. Just legendary story. If you don't have a copy, you could pick up this facsimile right here. It's a book that every Batman Joker fan should read. Superman 75, The Death of Superman. It's just another classic issue you should pick up if you get a chance. Of course, this book here is $5. You could probably get a reprint of the original one for the same amount, or a newsstand of the original for the same amount or close to it. Now these right here, both of these would be solid pickups right here. 50th anniversary of Superman the Amazing Spider-Man. This is a facsimile edition. This is the very first crossover between DC and Marvel right here. This is the 50th anniversary of it happening. Of the two, I feel like the first one is the strongest. The strongest of the two stories. So if you had to choose, I would go with the first one. Written by Jerry Conway. You've got Neil Adams art, Ross Andru art, as opposed to the second one, which has written by Shooter, and you've got art by John Buscema. So the creatives on this one are a tad stronger. So that's why I lean towards the first one as the better of the two. Batman Hush 2, you can miss me with all that. Got no interest in picking up that trade. Trinity, I'm reading this in singles. Kanga Yu, I think this is like a young adult or a kid's book, ties into Wonder Woman lore. Pass on all these trades right here. Not really that much into trades anymore unless it's a really, really good deal. Here's some more of the DC Finest collections. I highly recommend this Demon one here. This is some of my favorite Kirby stuff. This was, I would say I probably tied this one with Commandy as my favorite Kirby DC book. Just some really great looking art here, and Jack Kirby with, you know, swords and sorcery. You can't go wrong with that. We've got the DC compact books, these little collections right here. The Flash Rebirth by Jeff Johns, Francis Manipool, and Ethan Van Sciver. So if you're interested in seeing how the Flash came back, how Barry Allen came back, or whatever, this is where it starts right here. I believe it has, let's see if it shows what it has. I don't see what it has, but I would have to assume that it has the Flash Rebirth story with Jeff Johns and EVS, where they bring Barry Allen back to the main line, and some issues from the Francis Manipool ongoing. Nightwing, this is the Tom Taylor stuff right here. Highly recommend it. Superman, The Man of Steel by John Byrne, Absolute Edition. I am highly considering picking this up right here. The John Byrne Superman stuff is just really, really great stuff. He was the guy who took over the Superman book after Crisis on Infinite Earths. He introduced the modern version. I say modern, but it took place in the 80s, which is 40-something years ago at this point. He introduced the modern version of Superman at that time. So, and then plus John Byrne, you can't go wrong with John Byrne in this. And it's in absolute format, so it's oversized pages. So this would be a solid pickup if you're a fan of that initial post-crisis Superman and John Byrne. You're an older fan or whatever. So I'll be getting that. We've got some more trades here. Dark Knights of Steel, Elseworlds Batman, just some random stuff. I just recently read this Supergirl Being Super. It's a fun book. It's very out of continuity. I think it's 5 or 6 issues, and this is the trade paperback right here. So if you're interested in Supergirl and you kind of want something that's not bogged down in continuity and very standalone, give this book right here a shot. And what else we have? Catwoman New 52 Omnibus, Batman Golden Age Omnibus. This Flinch, I remember this. This was a Vertigo book, horror anthology. So you've got a bunch of little 4- and 5-page stories by various creators. Some are good, some are pretty weak. That's one of the problems with anthologies. You don't necessarily get your bang for your buck, but you do get a wide variety of storytelling options. And these are all horror, sci-fi, one and done shots right here. So some pretty fun stuff actually. And because it's in the Vertigo label, they're allowed to go a little bit off the deep end and get a little bit more gory than they would with mainline DC. And then we've got some other stuff here. Justice League New 52, pass. Lobo, back to back. This is a collection of a lot of the first 2 Lobo miniseries by Keith Giffen and Simon Beasley and Alan Grant working on them. So if you really want to know about Lobo and the books that made him famous, that real tongue-in-cheek, 90s style, over-the-top humor, right here would be what you would pick up. Now, I've heard that, they're going to have Jason Momoa playing Lobo in some of the DC movies, and it's definitely going to be this version right here, the over-the-top, macho, biker-style Lobo. So this is definitely what he's going to base his performance on, I feel like. New Titans Omnibus 2, passing that. And then that is the end of everything. All the solicitations for DC books coming out in January. If you see anything that stands out to you, let your comic shop know so they can go ahead and get those order in and make sure that they have you a copy set aside for you. So until next time, you guys take care. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.